the cans. I can remember the teacup flying across the room and smashing against the slatted closet door. I know that's where it landed because we were hidden on the inside. My parents were fighting again. This was the first time I had seen them throw things at one another. I also remember thinking in my 8-year-old brain, when do we ever drink out of teacups? And why would we have one? And if we didn't have that damn teacup, they wouldn't be fighting. For some reason, that moment really defined some major choices I made over the next few years. I say major choices, but really kid logic that put myself in some sticky situations. My cousin Jake and I were inseparable. He lived right across the street from me, and we spent every minute running around in the woods, discovering weird abandoned items, riding bikes, and swimming in the river without permission. Pretty much pissing off our parents with all the junk, scraps, and wet clothes. It was great. One particular day, we decided our entire neighborhood of 6 needed a cool newspaper. We were going to make the original by hand and collect cans to pay to use the big copy machine at the convenience store in town. It would be 5 cents a copy. We were going to have to get a ton of cans. I don't think we ever made that damn paper. But we immediately started collecting cans. Jake's mom was crazy and would give him this insane list of chores. We did all bazillion items on the list and took off into the woods. There was an old abandoned house in the woods that people would dump all their trash and strange unwanted goods. There was a washer and dryer, a Cinderella playhouse with no roof. We went back for that later. And a giant burn pile. This burn pile had only burned halfway. We saw the shine from the wet side. We had found the ultimate can loot. We went back 4 times and filled each stolen trash bag to the brim. Dragging them down the street in his wagon, I can only imagine that we looked like tiny little redneck hobos. We were so excited that copy machine was going to be our bitch. The smile immediately dropped from Jake's face when we made it to his front porch. His mom was sitting there smoking a cigarette. Without missing a beat, she takes the drag off her cigarette, walks up to him, pulls back her hand, and smacks him clear across the face. The only words that made it past the cigarette flopping in her mouth was, "You missed the fucking mail." The mail. She slapped him over not grabbing the mail from the mailbox. I remember standing there in shock and Jake sobbing. He ran upstairs to his room. She grabbed our bags out of the wagon and walked towards the river. She looked at me and told me to get home. Jake ain't playing anymore today, and neither am I. As I walked off, worried about Jake and the cans, I saw her throwing every single piece of aluminum treasure into the river. At that age, I didn't use words like bitch or fuck. Adult me would have said, "Fuck you, you fucking bitch," and possibly slapped her. Child me did not. Child me had a plan. My plan was as follows. She wouldn't get mail. And if she didn't have mail, she couldn't hit Jake. She would never tuck Jake or our cans again. The first 3 days went as planned. Mail truck stops. I would run over and grab the mail. I would immediately run to the bridge down the street and throw everything into the river. The 4th day didn't go so well. I remember grabbing the mail. I remember turning around and seeing pink house slippers. I remember that cigarette hanging out of her mouth. I remember her grabbing remember running so fast I thought my heart would explode. All I could hear getting fainter and fainter was, "God damn it, I'm calling your mom!" That night, it was very uncomfortable to sit, and so were the next few days. I am apparently terrible at picking my own switches.